What if the end of the world didn't come from the sky? No asteroid, no nuclear war. What if it came from something so small, you barely notice it when it's gone? Imagine waking up tomorrow and the world is quieter than it has ever been. No buzzing, no flies at the window, no ants on the sidewalk. At first, it feels peaceful, but within days, the silence would turn into a global disaster. And if all insects vanished, human civilization would not survive. You wake up, open your window, and something feels off. There are no insects. Not in your house, not in your garden, not even in the rainforest. Every insect on Earth, bees, ants, flies, gone. At first, most people wouldn't panic. Some might even celebrate. No cockroaches, no flies. Feels like an upgrade. But ecologists would be terrified. Because insects aren't optional life forms. They are foundation holding ecosystems together. And now that the foundation is disappeared, here comes the worst. Within days, the first cracks appear. About 75 to 80% of flowering plants rely on insects for pollination. Bees alone are responsible for pollinating a massive portion of the food you eat. That means no apples, no berries, no coffee, no chocolate. Grains like wheat and rice might survive a bit longer because they rely on wind pollination, but fruits and vegetables and nuts are gone nuts. They start disappear almost immediately. Fields that once bloomed with color begin to wither. Farmers notice crops growing but not producing food. Plants are alive but sterile. And this is just the beginning. When plants fail, everything above them follows. The herbivores, animals that eat plants, begin to starve. No seeds, no fruit, no leaves replenishing. Insect-eating animals are hit even harder. Birds, amphibians, reptiles, small mammals, entire species collapse within months. And as prey animals vanish, predators follow. Ecosystems don't collapse slowly. They cascade. One failure triggers another, and another. Forests thin out. Grasslands turn barren. The biodiversity plummets. Now comes the part that almost nobody thinks about. Decomposition. Insects are nature's cleanup crew. Beetles, flies, and termites, they break down dead plants and animals and return nutrients to the soil. Without them, dead matter piles up. Leaves, carcasses, waste. Bacteria alone can't keep up. Soil quality collapses because nutrients stop cycling. Farming becomes even harder, even for the crops that survive the pollination loss. Disease spreads more easily as waste accumulates, and freshwater systems suffer too. Many insect larvae help keep water clean. Without them, lakes and rivers become stagnant, oxygen poor and toxic. The planet starts to smell like decay. And now the crisis reaches us directly. Food shortages turn into global famine. Not in one country, it's everywhere. Food prices skyrocket. Supply chains collapse. Nations that rely on agriculture are hit first. Mass migrations begin as people search for food and stability. Conflict becomes unavoidable. And here's the uncomfortable truth. Technology cannot replace insects at scale. Hand-pollinating crops, possible, but only for small areas. Robotic pollinators, too slow, too expensive, and too fragile. We are not prepared to replace billions of tiny workers that evolve over hundreds of millions of years. Within decades, human civilization would shrink dramatically. Not because we forgot how to farm, because the natural systems farming depends on no longer exist. Now we fast forward for a few decades. Earth isn't completely lifeless, but it's simpler, quieter, more fragile. Fewer plants, fewer animals, fewer ecosystems. A planet that once thrived on invisible cooperation is now struggling to sustain complex life. And all because of something small disappeared. Insect populations are already declining in many parts of the world due to habitat loss, pesticides, and climate change. We don't notice insects when they are here, but we would notice immediately if they were gone. Because insects don't just live on Earth, they run it. The end of the world wouldn't be loud. It wouldn't be sudden. It would be quiet and gradual, and built on disappearances of things we once thought didn't matter. Sometimes smallest systems carry the heaviest weight. Just like Thanos said, losing them would cost us everything. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace.